and welcome, nausea. How many of us has experienced this phenomena? I can put my hands up and say, I have. Have you? Let me know. My name's Astra, and welcome to Astra's Brain Injury. And now, I hope that you remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I do these informative videos, y'all. Now, going back to when my brain injury began, I was nauseous and I couldn't understand, why am I nauseous? Being driven in the car caused nausea for me. Now, when you're pregnant, for all the women out there who's been pregnant and you've had nausea, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've been sick and you've had your stomach's just doesn't feel good, it's nauseous, you can understand now what I'm about to say to you. So with my brain injury, when it began, y'all, I could not understand why just sitting down, I could be nauseous. Standing up, I could be nauseous. Just listening to a conversation, I could be nauseous. Just trying to think, I could be nauseous. Just going into the store and having all the smells, I could be nauseous. So I was nauseous for anything. I could be laying in my bed, y'all, and I would be nauseous. I could just close my eyes and I can get nauseous. Like, I was nauseous for any and anything. It wasn't a good feeling to know that you're nauseous. Like, when I was pregnant, I understood, yes, you're pregnant and certain smells hit you and you're just like, you ate something and all of a sudden, your stomach doesn't feel good. So you understand these things because it's a given, you're pregnant. But it doesn't last for years. Them 9 months, whether depending on when your nausea began in your pregnancy, it would only last for that length of time, and that was it. Like, I can give you an example and say, like, with one of my pregnancies, when I hit 3 months, I had no nausea. And when I hit 3 months now, if I was not eating, I was sick to my stomach. So the minute I swallowed, I got nauseous. I was like, what? So see me eating a lot of cucumbers and celery and, watermelon, things like this. Now, and then, if you get nauseous, you can have some candy, like a ginger candy, drink some ginger ale, and it helps to, calm down the nausea. But for me now, with my brain injury, it's like my senses was just in overdrive. It was like, what? I'm always in like a fight or flight kind of a mode. And so I was always nauseous. Like always, y'all. I could not do anything without being sick to my stomach. And it was mind-boggling for me. And it was just, it's not a good feeling to know that you are continuously nauseous all the time. You go to sit down and you're nauseous. You're sitting here, and on top of being nauseous, then you're lightheaded or you're dizzy. All of these different things. So it's like I was continuously on a boat, and the boat is tossing me here and there, and you get seasick, and you're just like, and it just at the most inopportune of time that this thing hit me, y'all. And it hit me, and it hit me hard. Like, and the thing is, I did not, throw up, but I was, I'm trying to think of how best to explain this, from my experience. But when I was nauseous, it's like, when you're sick, you got the stomach flu. That's it. You have the stomach flu, and you throw up. You have some relief because your stomach is not feeling good. You're sick. It's coming out every which way. But when I had this brain, I shouldn't say had, because I still do have my brain injury. But when when it first started, and I was just sick to my stomach all the time, there was no and I had relief. There was nothing. I was just continuously sick to my stomach. I can't even reiterate that enough to y'all. I was nauseous with any and everything. Oh, mommy, I turned my head. Oh, I feel sick to my stomach. I go up the stairs. I feel sick to my stomach. I'm sitting down to eat. I feel sick to my stomach. I go to my appointments. I'm sick to my stomach. It didn't matter what I was doing, y'all. I was just nauseous all the time. Now, the thing is, for me, the nauseous, it was very centered on any and everything that I did. I mean, today now, which is now years later now, I still get nauseous, y'all. It still happens. But my nausea is related to, like, when I'm smelling. Like, for instance, I give the example of when I go into the store, when I go out, I can smell everything. It's like my nose is like Superman smelling. Like, it's just insane. And so, because my brains does not have a filter, this is how I'm trying to explain it so that y'all can understand. Like, when you have a filter, the filter catches everything. It catches a majority of the things it will catch. Yeah, some things that are microscopically really small, it will go through. But for me, it's like I don't have that guard. That filter is not there. So when I'm out and about, and I'll give you this example. We were in the store, and I was smelling the trail of the individual with their perfume. So there was a woman and a man, and both of them, I could smell both of them. So we were at one end of the aisle, and I could already smell them, that they were walking, they had walked ahead of us. And I'm turned to my mother, and I'm like, Mommy, they smell really good. And my mother's looking at me like, what? Like, what you talking about, Willis? Because she could not smell it. And so as we're coming and we're getting closer to them, for me, the scent is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. My mother could smell it now as we're getting closer to them. And she's like, oh, they smell good too. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I told you. So that guard that one has when you don't have a brain injury, it filters out a lot of things, and your brains is like, okay, you don't need to focus on that, you don't need to focus on this, you don't need to focus on that. Is no longer there. So your brains is just hit with everything all at once. And I think I'm only assuming that maybe this is why I was nauseous all the time. I don't know. I can only, guesstimate about this. I can only do that, or hypothesize. I can only do that because what was going on with me. was, it was just huge. You're not used to being sick all the time in your stomach. You're not used to that. As I said, when you have the stomach flu, it lasts for that length of time and then it's done. When you're pregnant, it lasts that length of time, then it's done. But when you have a brain injury, it lasts this length of time and it keeps going and going and going and going. And it seems like there's no end date in sight. And so for me now, with this, it was like, y'all, sorry, my nose is really itchy. It was really too much for me. It really was too much and overwhelming for me because I'm constantly nauseous for nothing. You blow your nose, you're nauseous. You're talking to somebody, you're nauseous. So your body is continuously in this nauseous feeling and this nauseous mode. That's the word. You're in that mode of, I'm nauseous, and that's it. And that's how it was for me. And it has died down because it's not every time I turn my head now, I get sick to my stomach. Or if somebody's talking to me, I get sick to my stomach. But I still get nauseous. As I said, when I go out and I can smell all the smells and all the sounds just hits me all at once, it does cause me to be nauseous. But I realize now, okay, I'm going to fight you with this nauseousness. That's what I'm telling my brains. So I always make sure I have candy, whether it's sour candy, rock candy, ginger candy. I got some kind of candy in my purse that I can, put in my mouth and just use so that my senses is going to hopefully focus just on what's in my mouth, the candy. And so, as I said, y'all, it really is not a fun thing to be nauseous all the time. Let me know. Have you experienced this kind of, I don't want to say it's a phenomenon, but have you experienced this kind of symptom? Have you experienced that? Let me know. Comment, let me know, please, if you're the one that is watching this and you're the one with the brain injury. Let me know. Have you experienced this kind of thing? Am I just the only one over here at this end that has experienced this constant nausea in the beginning when I first had my brain injury? And, has it died down for y'all that it is now no longer, on a constant like this, but it's more, more sporadic in its behavior. It's not like, boom, 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 24/7 all the time, but it might be, maybe it might hit you in the afternoon, midday or something, let me know which way it goes, and if you're the one that is looking after the one with the brain injury, let me know. Have you observed them saying, I just feel so sick to my stomach? Oh no, I shouldn't put my head. I should put it here on my stomach, like, my stomach just feels so sick. Like, have you observed this? How many times have you observed this? Because it's, as I said, it's not easy when it is lasting this length of time and you don't see an end date in sight. It's not easy because we know things has a start and it has an end date. And when you don't see an end date in sight, I felt, because I can't speak for you, you would have to speak to me to let me know, but I felt very overwhelmed and overloaded with this because I don't like being sick. I don't like it. I really don't like it because I constantly like to be busy, and when you're sick, it like throws you out of, what you're doing. So I did, as I said, I didn't like it. As you can tell, this is a different kind of a topic for me today, but it's just one that I wanted to find out and to let you all know that this is something that happened to me, and it was on a regular for me. Anyways, but I will take my leave. And before I do, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. Let me know. Are you the one that it has the brain injury? How long have you had your brain injury for? And have you experienced these symptoms? There's nausea. And what do you do in order for your nausea to, calm down? What have you done? What have you done that has worked and not worked? Let me know. As I said, it's a community. I want this to be a community that we all can have this place that we can talk about it, because as I said, I did not see a lot out there on brain injuries. You see the medical side of things where the practitioners are talking, they want you to come and see them and all that. But there was very little about the one with the brain injury that has been going through this and what they have experienced and all that kind of a thing. And so this is why I'm doing this, y'all. This is why I'm doing this. So I'm hoping that you are enjoying. Well, I know you are. So I'm hoping that you will continue to enjoy. And I'll definitely see you in the next video. And with that, I shall take my leave now and say bye.